Hello guys, this is Mr. Bueno again, and today we're going to have another lesson. And this lesson, as its name says, is going to be pretty simple, and that is past simple. This lesson is so easy to study, to understand, and to learn. Okay, so let's start. We're going to talk about the uses first, and the uses are this pretty easy, right? So when you use past simple, you talk about finished situations that cannot be changed or that happened a long time ago. As its name says, we're talking about the past. You can't change the past, you can't do anything about it, you can just say what happened in the past. Okay? So, and past simple also helps us to describe past events, anecdotes, or stories. Okay? This is pretty common. When you tell your friends or tell someone what happened yesterday, you use past simple, right? So whatever that you say about the past, you use the past simple tense. Okay, so it's pretty simple, right? So now let's look at the, not yet. Let's look at the structure, okay? So the structure is pretty simple. We're gonna look at the structure in positive, negative, and interrogative, okay? So the positive structure is pretty simple. You need the subject, then you need a verb in past simple, and then a complement. That's it. Pretty simple, right? So here, what is going to be a little bit complicated is just the verb in past simple. And for this, you have to learn verbs. We're gonna have like a little lesson at the end to explain something about verbs in past simple. Okay? So the structure in negative is this. You need your subject, you also need the auxiliary did, and then the word not. You can use it like did not, separated, or the contraction that is didn't. Okay? Then you need a verb in infinitive. This is pretty important, okay? So sometimes we have mistakes and people use the auxiliary didn't and then also the verb in past simple. If you do that, that will be incorrect. Okay? If you use your auxiliary did not, your verb has to be in infinitive. Okay? And then your complement. We're going to look at some examples after this so we can understand better. But this is pretty important. Remember, if you're using your auxiliary didn't, your verb has to be in infinitive. Okay? Not in past simple. Now, interrogative form. Our structure changes a little bit. We start with the auxiliary did, okay? Then we need a subject, then a verb in infinitive. Remember, since we're using the auxiliary did, our verb has to be in infinitive. Then the complement, and something important that you have to remember is the question mark. And that's how we make statements in interrogative, okay? So now let's look at the examples. This is the example in positive, this is the example in negative, and this is the example of an interrogative statement. Okay? Good. Let's look at the first one. It says, I traveled to Norway by myself. Good. If you realize the verb is travel, but it is in past simple. So I say, I traveled to Norway by myself. When? Well, in the past. Maybe you can here add when you traveled to Norway, okay? But this is how we make statements in positive, okay? So now let's look at the negative form, and it says, I didn't watch the movie you told me, okay? Remember, I am using the auxiliary verb in negative, and my verb is in infinitive, okay? So I say, I didn't watch the movie you told me, okay? Good. And now those example in interrogative is this. Did you eat my dessert? Again, since I am using the auxiliary verb did, my verb is in infinitive. Did you eat my dessert? I am talking about the past. Yes, I did. This is how we answer the yes-no questions in this form. Yes, I did. Okay, this is like the formal way. But you can just say, yes, I'm sorry. But it depends. If you want to be so formal, you say, yes, I did. Okay? And then you can add a complement. In this case, my complement is this. I'm sorry. Okay? Did you eat my dessert? Yes, I did. I'm sorry. Good. These are the examples. Now, as I told you, we're going to look at some, this little lesson of verbs in past simple. In English, we have two types of verbs, and those are these, regular and irregular. So the regular verbs are going to be pretty simple to use and to learn because their suffix is always ed. Okay? So here we have some examples. Walk, that is an infinitive or in present simple, becomes walked. Okay? And here we have another example. It says play becomes played. The suffix is going to be ed for all the verbs. Okay? Regular verbs, easy to learn. But here, what happened with the regular ones? Those are easy to learn, but their characteristics are different. Okay? So we have two main characteristics here, two different types of irregular verbs. The first one is that the form of some of them is the same as in present simple. This is the easiest type of verbs to learn. Okay, so this verb is the same in present simple and in past simple. Okay, the example is this: cut and cut. You know, we can use cut in present and we can use cut in past simple. Easy, right? This is the easiest one. The other type of verb is that the ones that the form of some of them is different in present simple and in past simple. This is like the most difficult one, but not really. So, well, these verbs are different in present simple and in past simple. And one example is this. In present simple, the verb is think. And in past simple, the verb becomes thought. A little complicated, but not really. So you will learn these verbs if you practice, okay? So I recommend you guys to read, to practice. In that way, we'll learn the verbs in present and past simple, okay? So this is just a little lesson about the verbs. So I hope this is helpful for you. And now that's it, okay? Thanks for watching. I hope this lesson is helpful for you guys. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye-bye.